The rig that I have here at rehearsal is brand new. We've only been using it for 3 days, and it's actually a hybrid of the rig I used during our last touring cycle and gear that now allows me to kind of call in the sounds that I use in the studio. Um, One of the biggest challenges for us for our live setup was to be able to have the flexibility of all the different tones of many vintage amps I used at Laurel, which are one of a kind, too expensive, and too rare to really put into a touring rig, especially since the rig that we build, we wind up having 4 of them because we have a backup in case it breaks down, and then we also have like a separate rig that we keep in Europe when we do shows over there. So in other words, if I wanted to use the Soldano amp that I use in the studio, which was very rare and expensive to rent each day, I'd have to find 4 of them to put in the rig. So the solution that we found is pretty incredible. If you want to walk back here to the road cases, we're actually using these new Randall MTS units, which emulate the different amps that I used in the studio. So if you look down in here, you can see, rather than having to have a huge high watt amp actually built into a road case, this little Randall MTS actually emulates the high watt. This is a clean tone. We've got the Morin modified Marshalls, rectifiers, and the Soldanos down here. And each of these is programmed to my pedal board at the front of the stage. So when I'm switching between settings on different songs, I'm actually switching between emulated cabinets back here in the rig. As you can see, there's 2 road cases here, 2 racks. These are actually just clones of each other. Like I said earlier, in case one of them goes down, we basically just switch to the other. One other facet of the rig, which I've had for some time now, is this pedal board setup. I'm using primarily Boss pedals, flanger, chorus. I have 2 different compressors, one set hotter for different songs so I get more level, a noise suppressor to take out all the hiss and extra gain so it's really quiet when I mute, and then my lo-fi pedal, which just makes everything sound low fidelity. And these are all running in front of the preamps directly to the pedal board, which I use out front. Our actual first kind of touring run that we're doing, and what we do is we program the song. We'll program the songs in the set in order here into the pedal board, so I can actually switch between songs just by using the bank setting here. And if you look at the LCD screen, now it's switched to Lying From You, and it's actually scrolling through 4 settings. 4 is usually my mute, 1's usually my distorted tone. You can see it says Lying From You distorted, and you'll see on the board what pedals in the rack are being activated. So here we've got the noise suppressor, and we've basically just got our heavy tone. If you switch up to a song like Somewhere I Belong, where I've also got clean, 3 is usually my clean. Here it says Somewhere I Belong delay. We've got our G major, which we use for all our delay settings. That's a piece of rack mounted gear. And then you can see all the pedals that are being used here, just the compressor, and the Marshall is being activated as well. So as we go through the set, I basically just scroll up by bank, and then within the song, I'll switch back and forth from, say, my delay tone to my normal distorted tone.
You've been using for a while?
I've been using this ground control pedal board setup since the Meteor touring cycle. It's really versatile. It's a really reliable piece of gear. I remember when I first started playing shows, I'd have literally all my pedals up here, and you know, sometimes the wiring would go bad because it's being kicked around and I'm stomping on it. So it's much more ideal to have the pedals actually in a tray in the rack where they don't get moved or touched, and I can bang on this all I want, and it's really resilient. Usually, sometimes if I get, you know, over here on the other side of the stage and I forget that I need to change a part, you'll actually see me like run back here and jump just in time to hit the next part.
Very dramatic.
Also the pedal, you know, the pedal control. This can activate anything where you're actually changing the like if we wanted to change delay time or delay mix on the G major, we can actually use the pedal to change the setting. Or if you wanted to do like a volume swell or a volume mute, you could use the pedal for that as well. So the standard guitars that I use, well, there's nothing standard about them. They're pretty awesome guitars. But my main instruments of choice are PRSs, and I usually use my custom Soldier butterfly wing model. I've got this in red and I've got this in gray. This is a really versatile guitar, and I use it on almost every song. On this new record, I experimented with a lot of different guitars. Used some Gibson Les Pauls, used vintage Strats, used a Jaguar, a Tele. I haven't incorporated all those guitars into the rig. Actually, Mike plays like a Gibson kind of. It's actually a PRS makes it. It's in the Les Paul style. It's really lightweight, and the tone is awesome. He uses this on Given Up. He'll double what I'm playing. And also, as we're talking about Mike, he plays acoustic on The Little Things Give You Away. He also plays keyboard and electric guitar in that song, so he's really jumping back and forth between a lot of instruments. One instrument I did incorporate into the rig, my live setup, is the Strat, which I use also on The Little Things Give You Away, and I use on our first single, What I've Done. And you can see this is actually the guitar from the video.
Can you tell us a bit about that guitar?
It's a really nice looking guitar that actually sounds really good. And it's not the guitar I used on the record. I used an actual like 1950s Strat, but the tone's really, really, really similar, so it works out well.